This year for VBS might be awesome. Last year was pretty fun. Oh, my God, pink. Pink. How countless are your works, Lord? In wisdom you have made them all. The earth is full of your riches. How countless are your works? Our God, the great Creator. How marvelous you are. Our God, the great Creator. How marvelous you are. How marvelous you are. How marvelous you are. How countless are your works, Lord? In wisdom you have made them all. The earth is full of your riches. How countless are your works? Our God, the great Creator. How marvelous you are. Our God, the great Creator. How marvelous you are. How marvelous you are. How marvelous you are. How marvelous you are. How marvelous you
We'll get started in about 30 seconds. Chris, can you go up and unmute this microphone? You'll see the light. There you are. I didn't see you. Perfect. We'll get started about 30 seconds as folks are coming on in.
There's nothing more stressful than a song ending while you're chewing.
You have your microphone? I think I turned it off. So I didn't turn it off.
I'm going for my water bottle now. So the Rice Krispie treats.
The Rice Krispies are blue?
No.
Cool.
And the cereal's gluten-free.
All right, for those on our YouTube audience, I want to welcome you to part 2. We're going to be going over the breakouts that we're going to be covering. And so we're going to be doing 3 different breakouts, but you get a bonus one because the end of the last one will actually be a 4th breakout. So I want to welcome you back. We're going to be here, it's like at 11:15 or so. We might go a little bit later. We kind of got a later start, so we're going to go a little bit past 12 o'clock. I hope that's okay for those who are present here, that your stomach may be growling a little bit for lunch. Well, guess what? You just had snacks, so you should be fine to go. So we're going to bonus time that a little bit and go over a little bit over 12. So thank you for joining us on the live stream. We'll get started. We'll do 3 back-to-back breakouts. The first one will be missions. The second one will be crafts. And the third one will be decorations with a bonus breakout on the Backyard Kids Club. Make sure that if you have not done so yet, at some point before you leave, if you're present with us here, make sure to go to the poster, add your emoji, add your name if you want to be prayed for by name. Eleanor is going to be doing that at all the different training events. I'll be taking a picture of it and praying for you too. And so we'll go ahead and use that as a prayer board and prayer calendar for that. I want to welcome you back. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we're going to be passing it off to Eleanor, and she's going to take over to do the missions breakout. Any questions about the rest of the schedule? All right, it's about to be we're going to move really fast, back to back to back, because we want to honor your time and be respectful for that. So 5, 4.
Okay. welcome to Missions. Now this year, Missions is the Missions Workshop. And so guess what? Those of you who are like me and stash stuff from old VBSs, you are in so much luck. So before we get into that, who here has been on a mission trip? Anyone been on a mission trip? Where have you been?
To do VBSs.
To do VBSs, yeah. I've done
In Moab, I think.
Moab, nice. I went to Alaska last year and did VBS.
I wanted to do that.
Venezuela, and this year we're doing Puerto Rico.
Venezuela, Puerto Rico. I was there. I was like, where did you go?
Rosebud, South Dakota.
Rosebud, South Dakota. All right. I went on a mission trip once to Utah, and fun fact, that's how I ended up here. It was a mission trip, and they told me I was staying, and I laughed at them, and then I was back. So when you go on a mission trip, do you just show up? Do you just get on a plane and fly somewhere and hope for the best?
No.
I hope not. So when you go on a mission trip, you prepare, you plan, and it should be the same way for VBS, that we don't just walk in on a whim. This is our mission field, and especially if you have the missions area, this is a great chance to talk about that, and so you want to make sure you're extra prepared and planned. Now, for the workshop, decorating it is a little bit easy because we just did concrete and cranes 2 years ago or 1 year ago, depending on how the rotation went. And so you get to pull out your hard hat. Now I, of course, am me, who is a little bit extra, and so I own the pink hard hat because that was it. And now I realize the pink hard hat is the way to go because this matches perfectly. But other things, just some tools laying around. I had the duct tape actually to use for setting up stuff, and then I just left it. You get to use your apron, which is very handy for pockets. If you don't do this for VBS and you don't have pockets, an apron or fanny pack is where it's at. But all of those things, some other things you can do is incorporate the missionaries from the video that we'll talk about in a little bit. We can incorporate things from their country. This year it is Guatemala and Pittsburgh, so we have a Guatemalan flag. I was not able to find a Pittsburgh Steelers flag, so that would be next to it. But yeah, with missions, just making the room welcoming, inviting, and in this case, it's a workshop. So pegboards are a great way to decorate. Also, pegboards are very useful because then you can hang all your stuff on it and decorate it. So under your chairs, some of you have a paint splatter. And we're getting ready to go through an acronym because we love a good acronym. All right.
Can't get to it.
So if you have the orange one, the one that starts with S, can you please tell us what your word is? Share. I was about to be like, can you please share your word? And then I was like, your word is share. All right, I was like, if you want to bring it on up, we're going to tape it up. Okay, so our first acronym, we are making an acronym out of the word spark, and our first one is going to be share. Also, while you were looking for a paint splat, you found a paintbrush or can, we are looking for some of those that we hid too well. So if you find one of those, please return it. All right, so first we have share. We are going to share. Now, doing VBS, no matter what rotation you have, it is important that you still know what's going on in the day. You still know the Bible story, because any chance we get, we want to be able to share that Bible story. We want to tie everything back into that Bible story and share the Bible with the kids. All right, who has the letter P? All right, what's our letter P?
Pray.
All right, we have pray. All right. Here we go, and I'm going to stick this up. One note about decorating, I know I'm not our low budget decorator. This is one of those like restaurant pop-up signs that they buy for every like fad that I got for $1 at a churchyard sale, and I cover it with a tablecloth, and then I have a wall wherever I need a wall. So that's a free discount decoration tip there. So pray. It is important that we pray for ourselves as we enter VBS, that we pray for the other leaders, the kids that are coming, for opportunities to share the gospel in our community. God already knows who's coming to VBS. He is preparing everyone. for this moment where we will meet together. So it's time to start praying. I think we heard 6 to 9 months before setting up your prayer team. And so it is important to be praying over VBS. All right, next is A. Do we have art? I'm sorry, I stole your thunder. What's your word? Art. Okay. Thank you. We are surrounded by art. It's kind of the theme. I learned some really cool stuff about there's like famous artists that they used as inspiration, and I thought that was fascinating. So this whole theme is celebrating art and all sorts of other skills. And so with that, another form of art, and this one is a stretch that they gave me, but building relationships is an art form. And so getting to know kids is an art form. And so it's important that you know your materials well enough that you can kind of do those, but then the most important thing is to get to know the kids that are in your room. I've taught hour-long classes on how to build relationships with kids, but the easiest way is to listen to them and to ask questions. And so an easy thing to do is to ask open-ended questions. That means questions that don't have an answer that you're expecting. So, how did you enjoy snack? What did you like about snack? Why do you think that they did this in the story? And just getting their thoughts and opinions and ideas, and that is a fun way to build relationships. Also, we've already talked about follow-up, so I won't go too much into it. But building those relationships and keeping them after VBS. So inviting them to other activities, seeing those kids in the community, saying hi in Walmart when they come yelling your name at you. Mine was waffles. They always came up and yelled waffles at me. So yeah, it's important to build those bonds. And with that, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for a church's VBS follow-up. My mom became a Christian because of daycare, drove a bus to a VBS with my brother, and my brother, the pastor, then followed up and went to my mom's house and visited her, and she became a Christian from VBS. As an adult, she didn't even attend VBS. So building relationships and following up on those relationships is so important. All right, and we have our... All right, retell, thank you. So, retell, part of that is, we talked about the Bible story. Let me throw retell on the ground. We are going to retell the Bible story whenever possible. One thing if you use a canvas wall is you do have to hold the back of it so it does not fall over. So retelling the Bible story helps reinforce it. It helps it transfer to their memory if every time they hear the same story over and over again with that. And then we also have a really cool idea with being Southern Baptist, with being partnered with IMB and NAMB, the International and the North American Mission Boards. We get to partner with missionaries and we get to retell their stories. And so this year's missionaries, we have the White family who lives in Antigua, Guatemala, and we have the Wilton family in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So one is a North American missionary, Pittsburgh, and then international, Guatemala. And so every day, kids will get to watch the video, hear their story. Now, I encourage you, the book has a lot of cool activities. I know it's easy. Missions is an easy thing to cut, and it's easy to just like play the video and move on. But there are some really good interactions that happen. So one of those interactions is these cool moving blocks.
They moved.
My tower is falling over. And with them, it says to specifically put them in an apron and carry them around and put words on them. So Antigua and bananas are the two words I have. Now, if we were to watch the day one video, these words would be said in the video. And so it gives you the words so that as I hear the word bananas and I hear the word Antigua in the video, I start building a paper sculpture by sticking these little pieces together so that kids have kind of an interaction while they watch the video. And then by the end of the week, they have this whole thing that they have built out of the paper blocks. So the missions material does have a lot of really good resources for active listening. And let me make sure I didn't miss anything about the missions. I did. Okay. The other thing that the material suggests is a missions project. I'm coming to you. We're taking a detour on R. R had a lot of stuff under it because we're retelling. Another thing is they have a chance to do a missions project themselves. And so with that, they have the Spark bags, which they get to take a bag home, decorate it, and then fill it with art supplies. And then it says to pick a ministry or church plant or after school program in your area and who needs those art supplies and to give them to them. So it's a really practical way for kids to give to other kids and to retell their story. Because if I have a kid who decorated a bag, no matter where that bag's going, if it's going to a public school, I can't control what the kid drew on the bag. And so that is a great chance for kids to retell what they learned at VBS with those Spark bags. All right, and now we've gone through all the things. R was a full page in itself. We have K. All right, and what is K? Kindness. I feel like kindness is probably a safe word to put in any acronym because it's great. But one of the Bible story points that we have at VBS is that God in his kindness sent Jesus. And so with that, everything we do at VBS comes back to that and comes back to telling kids the story. That everyone at VBS should be comfortable sharing the gospel. I should have left the things back up and been like, see, they're still here. But yes, everyone should be prepared to share the gospel with kids because that's what it is all about. And so some notes about missions in general, things to think about is logistics. Will missions be its own rotation? Will it be incorporated in a closing ceremony of some sort? I know the church I grew up in, instead of cutting, because music and missions are usually some rotations that get cut easily in churches, we had M&M time where we did half music, half missions in that rotation for music and missions. So just make sure it is included. And then think about who is coming. If preschoolers are coming in through the If preschoolers are coming in through the missions rotation, then have the preschool missions packet. There's a separate book for that. And then there's a DVD provided. If you don't have a DVD player, there is an online key code to be able to get those videos that way. And most importantly, just, again, go do the thing, make connections, build bonds with these kids. And the comment, because this is the plan that Lifeway sent out, and I think the comment that I highlighted at the bottom that's the most important is just, don't forget that missions is too important to leave out because it's everything we're doing. So, all right. Any questions about missions? I finished my acronym. Okay. I had a moment of wait. We got all the letters. All right.
Perfect. Now, take a deep breath. We're going to move the tables again. 2. All right, speak now.
Hi.
All right, perfect. All right. We begin in 5, 4, 3.
All right, welcome. My name is Jennifer, and I'm going to be teaching you about crafts. I have crafts from age of preschool all the way through 5th and 6th grade. So some of them are crafts that were created by the people who did VBS, and some of those are just some fun ideas that I have found. So I'm going to kind of show you both ideas. The one thing we do need to remember as we're preparing crafts, whether we are coming up with ideas of our own, it's important to make sure that we incorporate them with the story that we're talking about for that day. Okay, so this has been a really fun time to do crafts because I work with kids that are at elementary age, and I have had them do some of these crafts for me, and just kind of trying to see what age group. I work with kindergarten through 5th grade, and just trying to see what they enjoy, what they like, and what they're capable of doing. So it's been a lot of fun and kind of an eye-opening experience for me. So we're going to start with the preschool age. So I'm sure you guys have all probably seen something similar to this where they get to open it up. He is not here. So that one is definitely follows right along with the storyline. This one is a tote that they can carry their projects home with them. So you can, and it's just, I just took a cereal box and I opened it on the seam, and then I turned it around, so because they didn't have any writing on it, and so then I would just decorate it with, this is washi tape and gems I just got at the dollar store. So it was a very, very inexpensive craft that you can do. You just have to start remembering, if you're going to do crafts like this, you have to start saving now, or you won't have enough of those kind of things to do ahead of time. And this, I just used cheap glue dots from the dollar store to glue this together, and I just had to tape this with packing tape because it just made it a little bit stronger and sturdier. So this one was super fun, super easy, and really, really inexpensive. So my daughter did this one, and she did a lot of gems, but you could do stickers. They always have themed stickers, which I didn't have access to this year, so you could do the themed stickers and the fun foam, and kids can color or draw whatever they want to on this one. Okay, and then this is another one we did, is puppets. I'm terrible at puppets, so this is what we got. Sorry about that. Me and puppets, not friends. Okay, this one is not necessarily for preschool only. This is for any of the age groups. And you can write anything on there. It doesn't have to say, look what I made. But this is one that comes in the kit. And so it comes with this hard chipboard, and then 2 pieces of string and all the clips. And then you guys decorate it however you want to. Oh, and I think it came with the beads as well. So, but then you can have the kids decorate it however they want to do that. Okay, so this one actually was pretty fun to make, and it took a little bit of time, but it wasn't like, it probably took me 20 minutes. So your younger kids might take a little bit longer, your older kids a little bit faster, but you can get it done in a reasonable amount of time for the time frame we're always given. This one, Jesus is the King. Now, you guys probably cannot see this, but you take a pencil and you can write in here, and it makes an indent in there. You kind of have to be close up to see it, to be honest with you. And then it has a magnet on the back, so then the kids can just make this. This one is definitely more fun for the younger kids than it would be for the older kids, but this one also comes in the kit. All the gems come with it, so they could put as many as they wanted on there. And each kit comes with a whole page of gems, so there's a lot for them to choose from. Okay, this is also from the kit. This one is like a tithing box, so they can save. Super easy. It comes. All you have to do is just pop the box open. It comes flat like this. You just pop it open, and then there's stickers that come with it. So this one is very, very simple, and I'm sure that your kids of whatever age you do this for would probably be happy to add their own little taste and flavor to it. Unfortunately, some of the pre-made crafts, they don't give you as much opportunity to be super creative. So this one is really messy. I do love glitter myself, so I don't mind doing it. But this is musical instrument and gives the kids a chance to be super creative. All I did is take a paper towel tube, filled it with some beans, stapled both ends, and covered it in glitter. So I know preschool, they love glitter. I know churches, they hate glitter. So, but they can use stickers or crayons or coloring or, it doesn't matter. Okay, this one was super fun. This is just a little microphone. So this particular one, I bought the wrong size styrofoam ball, but I had a tennis ball, so I just used a tennis ball to make it bigger. So you just take a styrofoam ball, and if you don't have that, you could use more aluminum foil and just make a bigger ball, or you could do a wad of newspaper and wrap it in aluminum foil. So there's options of ways that you can make this so that the kids can enjoy it. I just chose star stickers to put on mine, but the kids can put, whatever they want. And I use black paper because that's what I think of when I look at a microphone. But the kids can use any color of paper they want to. This gives them an opportunity to be pretty creative. I had to use hot glue. Yeah, I try not to use it, but when it comes to this, I knew if I would have used a styrofoam ball, I probably could have got away with glue, but with the tennis ball, it's too heavy, so it wouldn't have stayed. But it makes it feel a little bit more real with a tennis ball. And they're really not terribly expensive, but you can buy the styrofoam balls at the dollar store in various sizes in 3 and 4 packs. So it makes it, you could. You might want to do something else for this, so it'll be stable enough to hold it. Okay. And then we have this, David's harp. This one is one of the craft kits. Okay. The one thing you just need to remember if you're doing the crafts is you'll want to move this around a little bit, because when you'll break the rubber bands trying to just shove them in there. So you'll want to move it around and make it a little bit more flexible so that when the kids do it, they can just put the rubber bands in there. I broke one and just tied it and put it on the back. So, and this one, they actually can decorate the whole thing. It comes white like this, so they can decorate the whole thing however they want to. And again, you can use the stickers, markers, crayons, colored pencils, paint, whatever you decide to do on that one. Okay. And then this, oh my goodness, super easy. And my kids of all ages really enjoyed this. It's just 2 pieces of fun foam, rounded the corners, cut 2 slits, and weaved it in. Now, I glued mine together with glue dots because I have found that Elmer's glue and foam don't necessarily get along too well. So the glue dots actually worked really well. They're the inexpensive ones that I bought from the dollar store. They work really well. I haven't had any issues with it coming apart. And then I just bought buttons at the dollar store. They have a big pack, so you can have them, and they'll have it go together. Oh, and there's also, I didn't know they had these. Awesome. Glue dots. You could probably buy these at like Joann's or Michael's, any Hobby Lobby, any craft store. So that would be very helpful. Yeah, it's just a tic-tac-toe game. Sorry, God sees our. They had this is the larger buttons that came in the pack that I bought at the dollar store, but they had smaller buttons. You can use either. So that way they can just take that one home. All right, that kind of takes care of the preschool lower end of the craft area. So preschoolers probably could do this one. This comes blank, and we took painter's tape and made the cross and the white lines, and then my daughter did this one for me because she's way more creative with color than I am. And then you just paint the parts that are white, and then when it's dry, you just take the paint or the tape off of it. And so the kids could really make so many beautiful designs. I bet you wouldn't have a single one that's the same. So this one's really fun. And this one actually comes with its own easel. So the kids will be able to display that at home. So, all right. Okay. This is also one that comes in the kit. It's like the old Light Bright. And it comes with multiple designs that you can use. It doesn't have a cross, at least my kit didn't, I don't know. So these were the other 2 designs that I got in there, so you can they can pick one and then they can take the rest home, because it all comes in the same kit. Okay? All right, and I'm trying to think of anything else that came. I think we're done with the ones that are pre-made. So this is one that I made, and you can do this with your 3rd and 4th, and you can do it with your 5th and 6th graders. It just takes time. They recommend you do it with a bottle, but I got a cup from somewhere, and I liked it size-wise and height, or width-wise. And it's just weaving. You're just weaving string in and out. You just, cut the slits all the way around, and then you just weave. This one would be a project that would probably take a couple of days. So if you had, like your 5th and 6th grade, if they wanted to do something that takes a little bit longer, this would be something. It actually turns out my kids at school didn't want to do this one, but they really liked the way it looked on the inside. It turned out really nice, but you can use it, for a pencil holder or, whatever. So I just had to put this in it to weigh it down. So anyway. All right. This, my kids at school absolutely love. It's a twirly whirly something or other. Yeah, the kids absolutely loved it. This one does require hot glue. So this one is just a skewer, and then you take 8 strips of paper. I made mine the width of the ruler, because I think that's an easy measurement for the kids to do. And so they took their time and they measured and they cut. And then you make a circle. I made 2 little white circles that would go in there. And then once they've glued all of their pieces together, it's going to look like a snowflake. So you do this way, Then I just had them Elmer's glue all the paper together. And then once they had the 2 together, we stuck it in the skewer. And then I hot glued the bottom and inside so that it wouldn't move. And then I just hot glued, I let them pick any bead they wanted. And then because the top of the skewer is pointy, and even if you break it off, it's still going to be a little bit sharp. So they enjoyed being able to pick a bead to put on that. And personally, if you're going to buy beads, something like this, a heart, a star, they work better than like the pony beads because they're not as big around. So the kids that picked a pony bead, we ended up having to replace it because the hole was too big and it didn't really stay even with the glue, the hot glue. So I hot glued here, and that was it. But the kids did everything on their own. So, and this one, I chose a paper pack with it probably had 20 colors in it, and the kids were able to pick whatever colors they wanted to make theirs with. So this was, again, probably one of the favorite things that my school group did. Okay, this is another one. This one I think is in the, through the curriculum stuff that they did, some of the extras. This is just a piece of duct tape, and you can use any color of duct tape that you'd like, okay? And I just folded it under, and I just taped it with another piece of duct tape on either side and added a rubber band. So that way that it's stretchy enough that you can put it, through a lot of pages or just a few pages. This one, I cannot wait to be done so I can put it on my own Bible. I love it that much. This is probably my favorite. So, all right. This one's super simple. This one does not have really a lot to do with the curriculum. However, my kids really enjoyed doing it. It didn't take them a lot of time, and they got to choose the color of string they wanted. They could braid it or not braid it, and it's actually, you can use it as a bookmark, but it's actually designed to be a bracelet. So you can tie it this way and make a bracelet out of it. But this one my kids just really, really enjoyed. So sometimes you need an extra craft because the kids might get through it. This might be something, it's very inexpensive because you can get a lot out of a piece of plastic canvas. And they're only 99 cents. So, all right. So in the curriculum for the 5th and 6th grade, they had these 2 guys, which I'm going to say 5th and 6th graders are probably going to be a lot more creative and can make them look like themselves or, their friends or whatever. So they're really super creative. And this one is the earth, and it's a bookmark. So have you ever made a pom-pom? Okay, so when you make a pom-pom, you take something that, is flat, and you wrap your yarn around it. If you want it fluffy, like this one I felt like was kind of fluffy, you wrap it more. Okay, and then when you take it off, you take another string and tie it through the middle. And I like to do it really tight, so I tie it as tight as I can, and I have the kids put their finger in the middle, and then they finish tying it. Then I hook the paper clip on. Then all the loops that you made, you're gonna cut. And it'll be kind of shaggy, so you just trim it up. And they have YouTube videos that can show you how to do that. This one, I just took 2 pieces of string and wound them at the same time. I know that there's a way that you can do them so that there's like a green middle and a blue on the outside. I just liked this so much. And I had kids that loved this. My kids, from kindergarten to 5th grade, pom-poms, absolutely love it. They make critters, they make, pom-poms just to play with. They enjoy the process a lot on this one. I probably have kids that will make 6 or 7 of these in a day because they just enjoy doing it. I know, it's funny. In fact, one of my kids, she's in 5th grade, she made all these animals. Well, not this one, I made this one. But she made all these animals. She did not follow a pattern or anything. It was just totally all on her and very creative. So she made a little goldfish, which I didn't even have the mind to do that. This one I love is a little lizard. Yeah, it does. And this one is a koala bear. Now, I personally would have made him fluffier, but, Yeah. And this one, I don't remember what she told me this one was. It looks like a mouse to me, though. Yeah. Yeah. And she did such a great job, and she just sat down and did them all by herself. So I just wanted to show you, when we're talking about God's creativity, I mean, this is it right here. 100% of that came from her mind, and I just love that about it. And then this one was probably one of my other favorites. It's just a notebook I got from the dollar store. And you can use any size notebook, and I just used scrapbook paper. And I just measured it on the book and then trimmed it. Absolutely. You guys are welcome to come up and look at it. I'll leave it up for a little bit. Yeah. And then they can also personalize each page if they'd like to. Like I'm praying for at the bottom, or a stamp or a sticker, however they'd like to do. Okay. And then this one's called a name sculpture. And this is just something that we did at school. And I thought, gosh, our older kids really liked it because you can be so creative. This one is my name, but you can do one with the word Jesus on it. Or, the kids could do their own name, And we had to hot glue them on, just so you know. So we they decided where they wanted it. I put the hot glue and set it down. So they made the decision of how they wanted it to look. I just put the hot glue on. I don't think so, because I had to put it on the back and the front. This is one maybe you could test out. We used file folders for this, which you can also get at the dollar store. I think they come in like an 8-pack. So you can get these at the dollar store. This one didn't even, this one might have taken a half of a file folder. So they don't, and you can do these any size. I just picked a size that I liked. So there's no real wrong way to do this one. I just thought it just was so creative and fun, and the kids really enjoyed being able to do it however they wanted. And then this it's supposed to be an optical illusion. You see that one? So my daughter and I found this one on Pinterest, and she could not follow the pattern that they suggested on Pinterest because it was too small. So just remember, if you're gonna do that kind of thing, you just kind of have to, before you start gluing anything, you're gonna wanna lay it out to make sure it all fits. And then we just got the colored popsicle sticks at the dollar store. And then she chose to put black paper on the back, but you can do any kind. This is an 8.5 by 11. We just had to add a little extra piece to make it long enough, okay? And then we just cut these with scissors. The little pieces, we just cut with scissors, and she just put them up against the other ones so that you couldn't really see them. So we had to hot glue that frame and these, but the rest of it is just Elmer's glue onto the paper. So this would be a great project for your 5th and 6th grade. And you can use a low temperature or a low heat hot glue gun. They still can burn your fingers, but it certainly doesn't hurt as much as the regular heat ones do. So that one, again, this one that might take them a couple of days if they're really precise about how they want to do it, okay? And this one, another favorite. And I had probably 1st and 2nd grade mostly did this one, okay? So, and this one, I had the pattern, it wasn't in this book. Maybe I found it online. I can't remember on this one. I'll have to look that up. But so it opens up like a book, okay? And then when you fold the middle backwards, you have a secret message.
Whoa.
The kids absolutely love this one. They thought that was fun, and it was so easy to make. Yeah. All I know is this part's 5.5. I think it was 5.5 by 7, but I can't remember the other one. And then you're just weaving your paper in here. Very easy. And you could actually just put a little stick of tape on the bottom of these so that they don't come out. So, and you guys are welcome to, come up and look at any of this stuff. I will leave it up if you want to look at it, and I will be available for questions if you have any, okay? And then I think I just have 2 more to show you. This is another one my kids really enjoyed. When I colored it, this kind of curved, but it's kind of tiny. It's got a little heart on it. Okay, you close the heart, and then you can lift up the page. And then when you open the heart, it has the gospel plan here.
No. I love it. What?
And all it was a photocopy. Super, super easy. But, the kids can cut it out all by themselves. They can glue these on by themselves. The only part they wanted help with was this. And all I did was fold it in half, snip it, and it was done.
What?
Super, super easy. But this is fantastic for your 1st and 2nd, maybe even your 3rd and 4th. So, yeah, the kids.
Getting ideas for yeah, me too. I'm just getting ideas for crafts at home.
Right.
I agree.
All right, you guys. This one is like, okay, this was just a white bandana. You can get them for 99 cents at Joann's, okay? And you take watercolors, and you take them out of the little tray, and you put them in hot water and dissolve them. And then this one, you fold it.
Oh, you're just tie-dyeing it.
You are, but they had directions on like how to fold it, and it turned out to be a triangle. Yeah, you don't have to. You can do it however you want to, but it turned out they had you do it this way, and then, I don't know, my daughter did this. It turned out to be a triangle when it was done. And then you just dip each section in. We used some dollar store ones, and it turned out brighter than we thought it would be, but if you want something more vibrant, you could use, it's called liquid watercolor. It is very vibrant, but the only problem with it is it will stain clothes, and that's the biggest problem with it. Okay, I was doing a different project using the same stuff, the liquid watercolor, and you have to add water to it. It is very vibrant though, so it's fun stuff to use. I'd never used it before, but it's pretty awesome stuff to use. But, we have aprons and stuff for kids at school, so it makes it a little bit easier. I don't have to worry about them. So this was, something the kids can just create. They can wear it however they want to, just like we wear these. There's multiple ways to wear these too. So just a fun project for the kids. It depends on what your budget is as to what you can do. And some of these, like I said, some of those are super inexpensive and pretty manageable to do. And I tried doing them with my kids at school so that I would be able to see like how the process of making them works with children. All right, I forgot this one. Sorry, guys. This one is really, really cute, but you're supposed to be able to see the light through here. So we had to kind of scrape some of the paint off to be able to see light. It's a ping pong ball. We just poked a hole in it. It was super easy to poke a hole in. I think my daughter just used a pencil and poked the hole. And then she just painted it. And she basically just used her finger because using the brush left strokes. So she just painted it with her finger. And then when it dried, because we used acrylic paint, then she was able to just do that. And then Marvelous Creator is what it says. And this they can put, like by their bedside table or, whatever. But it was, and these come for $1 at the dollar store. So, and you might be able to get them cheaper on Amazon or something if you're buying a bunch. But we kind of had to scrape off some of the paint just so you could see the light through it. So, all right. Do you guys have any questions? Okay. And you guys are welcome to come up. I'll leave the table up over there, and you guys can... Oh, I forgot this one. This is a wind chime.
No.
I couldn't find regular straws, so I actually used paper straws and beads from the dollar store. Then these are washers with the symbols on them. Yeah. Yeah. And that reminds me, I found one more. This one's in the book. And the way they recommend you do it, I think personally is the hard way. Have you guys ever seen the rubber band bracelets? Okay, so my kids do them on their fingers. They just do them on their finger and they can do them. So the way they recommend it in the book is you take 2 pencils and put a domino between them, and then you wrap it with a rubber band. And that gives them the width that they need so that they can put the rubber bands on. But my kids just do them with their fingers, which is way easier. So that was just one of the other projects that you guys could do. And you can buy a bunch. They're not terribly expensive and they go a long way. So, and these I would recommend probably, if you're gonna buy them, just buy them on Amazon. You get a lot of colors and you can get 20,000 rubber bands. You just need to make sure you have a clip. They have C clips and S clips. You just have to have a clip for every child.
You can use a paper clip instead if you want to. I've made it with a paper clip.
You could.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something about kids, though.
Yeah.
They will not wear it if you put a paper clip on it. So adults might, because we're kind of weird that way. Children will not wear it without the clip.
Even if it's the colored paper clips?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But you know what? I bought a pack of 100 for $2.99. And if you find them on sale, it's even better. And they make colored ones now, so it's even more exciting. All right.
Well, thank you so much. These crafts will be on display over here on the side. And that's all for the crafts. Lots of great options and with multiple budgets. So, all the way down to practically nothing to some more expensive ones if you want to. So it's all up to your church. But lots of great options for you. So.
Do we need to move this table?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just going to throw it.
Started with the decorations class.
Okay. All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you. You'll probably need a new battery before tomorrow. Otherwise, Pastor Scott's going to die in the middle of the service. Not him die. The battery is going to die in the middle of the service. No, Scott's not going to die tomorrow. Don't worry. All right, well, just give me a second and we get this stuff out of the way. And grab my clicker. One or two will be fine. Okay. 5, 4. Well, welcome to Decorating on a Budget. And so I'm excited to have you here. And as we're talking about the budget, or talking about the decorations, there's a lot of things that go into the decorating side. Now, how many of you help out with the decorations for your church? Anybody are responsible for helping with the decorations? Okay. The truth is that a lot of you probably can help, even if you haven't already. There's a lot of things that you can do. This could be related to decorating your own individual classroom, or even helping decorate the main worship area, or any of the other breakouts that are going to be happening. So I'm going to show you multiple zones, and what you are located in right now is the Imaginarium, which is the main worship area where it's central to everything that you're doing. And so if you're going to decorate only one area and the rest of areas you're just going to leave alone, this is where you put the most bang for your buck, because this is where everybody, regardless of their age group, is all going to be in. And so this is the main center. And so the worship rally, where you've got your biggest backdrop, and that's where you're kind of drawn in, and you want to try to draw their eyes all around the room. So there's lots of decoration ideas for the Imaginarium, but I'll get into those in just a moment. But before I do, I want to actually talk about why do we want to save money when it comes to decorations? Why don't we just go ahead and say, go spend whatever you want and go do whatever? I believe there is a biblical mandate for using being a good steward of those resources. And when I say that, I believe if we actually look at the idea of definition of stewardship, the definition from stewardship literally means utilizing and managing all resources God provides for the glory of God and the betterment of His creation. So we're not talking about upcycling and environmentalism for the sake of worshiping the earth and praying to the earth and all this other stuff. It's just a matter of God gave it to us to use and to be responsible with the things that we use, so that things don't just fill up with landfills and we're actually using things multiple times. So you'll see in a lot of my decorations, most of the things that I use in my discount decorating are upcycled items. These are items that were purposed for something else that I'm now using for a different purpose. And so these are things I've salvaged out of the trash. These are things I've used from previous Vacation Bible schools. These are items that I use for other purposes and other events, and I just kind of change their purpose to meet our given need. So we're going to talk about that when we go through and I'll describe what some of these items are. The other thing I want you to recognize is these main points when we're talking about discount decorating. First off is you make a realistic budget and stick to it. Now, when you go shopping, how many of you are wanderers and how many of you are listers? Are you a wanderer or are you a lister? Yeah, I highly recommend that wanderers become listers. That's where you begin saving money. Wanderers end up spending a lot more money than they actually have. They end up just picking up, and they go to the store for one item, and they come home with a basket full. That's a wanderer. They'll just wander the aisles and start picking up anything they see. If they see something, if it's at Walmart and it has a yellow tag, you know it's a clearance item, so it's got to be a bargain, right? So you have to jump on it. But listers are people who say, okay, I see that. I see the price, I'm going to take a picture of it. So I'm going to pull out my phone and I'm going to take a picture of the price and take a picture of the item, and then I'm going to plan and put this to my list and then contact the VBS director and say, do we have this in the budget? Can we buy this? Can we do this? And so that's the lister. So I would encourage you, be a lister if you're not a lister. Become one. That's where you'll save money and your money will go a lot further. The other thing is have a strategy in mind before you shop. Again, that goes along with being a lister or a wanderer. Have a strategy. Know what you're going there for and what you're getting. Start early. Convenience is costly. If you're buying something at the last minute, you're going to pay whatever the premium price is for it. But if you're shopping for like 6 months in advance, then you're able to shop smart and be able to take your time and buy the things that you need when they go on sale or when the best time to get things are. So for example, if the best time to buy school supplies is when? July, back to school supplies. Before school or when school is ending, they might have some items in the clearance item, but they have some great sales at a different time of year than when you might be doing your Vacation Bible School. So recognize that some of the items that you might need, like art supplies and stuff like that, might be cheaper at a different time of year. If you start early, that's easy enough to do. If you utilize the creativity of your congregation, you might have some people in your congregation that might have some of the items that you're going to need. If you make them aware of what items you need, then you allow them to help and contribute to the process. You don't have to go buy everything. They may already have those items and they're willing to donate them for use during your Vacation Bible School. So utilize the creativity of your congregation. You might have a painter in your congregation that you didn't even know, a person who loves to paint. They can help you with the backdrops or painting supplies DIYs or crafts or pre-making some of your crafts and things like that. So use the creativity of your congregation. Source from unexpected places. I oftentimes will shop the clearance bin of stores and buy things that are not designed for those items. When I go into Lowe's and Home Depot and I'm buying a doorknob, in all likelihood, it's not because I have a door that needs a doorknob. It's because I need something that, like a doorknob, to maybe use as a prop. Or if I'm buying foam board, I never am insulating a house when I'm buying foam board. I'm buying foam board to turn it into a prop. Or in the case of Sunfest a couple of years ago, an 8-foot Jesus actually had the word Jesus spelled out with 8-foot foam board. But the cool part about that is I oftentimes will shop at a discount. If I'm going to be cutting out the J and the E and the S and the U and the S out of there, I'm not going to use a full-size sheet of foam board. So I go to the hardware manager and say, I want the cheaper foam boards that are broken on the corners and the edges that you can't sell to anybody else. And sometimes they're going to give it to you or they'll sell it to you at about 90% off because you're going to be cutting the corners off anyway to make your letters. So if you're going to be cutting it up into smaller pieces, it doesn't matter if it's broken or chipped or has damage in it or warped in some way because you're going to be cutting it up anyway. Ask for a discount from the main stores. Most of the time, I'll never pay full price for foam board because I'm willing to get the scratch and dent ones. And if you go there often enough, they know who you are and they'll remember to hold off rather than throwing it away because the reality is most of the time they want that stuff gone because it just takes up shelf space and nobody's ever going to buy it, but unless you actually want it. The other thing is if you want gravel, buy the bags of gravel that have holes in the bag because they'll give them to you at 70 to 80 to 90% off. And so if it's a bag of place sand or gravel or something else like that, look for the bags that have holes because they want them off the shelf. They're just making a mess in their store. They want to get rid of them. And by you being willing to buy them at a discount, they're happy to have you take them. So they don't have to hire somebody to come in and clean up after because the bag has a hole in it. So just keep that in mind. And then also use what you already have. My house is full of previous year's Vacation Bible School decorations. And so I have a shed. Some of my decorations smell like gasoline because that same shed stores my lawnmower and edger and trimmer and all the other stuff too. So sometimes it might smell like gasoline, but that's okay. The kids are far enough away that it doesn't even notice it. But I store previous year's Vacation Bible School decorations in my storage shed. And so that's what you can do. I recommend that some things you don't skimp on, make sure you get good quality tools, sharp knives. Dull knife is very dangerous. Make sure you're using good quality tools. Dollar Tree might be $1 or $1.25 now, but not everything is worth that $1. Recognize that the quality is different from the Dollar Tree than other places. For example, there's a party supply store called Zurcher's in the Salt Lake Valley that we use, and Zurcher's tablecloths are 100% better. Over there is a sample quality. On the top there is that sort of a teal colored. That is a Zurcher's tablecloth. Over here is the Dollar Tree, and if you come up here and you can feel them, you can tell the difference of a Dollar Tree versus Zurcher's. Guess how much the Zurcher's tablecloth is?
57 cents.
98 cents, $1. If it's on sale, it's $1. Guess how much the Dollar Tree one is?
$1.25.
$1.25. You've paid more for the Dollar Tree for lower quality when you could have gone to Zurcher's, gotten a far more varied styles. And the other cool thing is, if they have a tablecloth like that, they also have streamers that same color that match it. So your streamers and your tablecloths and your plates and everything could all match. If you're going to use the plates to make something, you can use the plates and cut out with a circle cutter, and you can use the circle cutter to cut out, like here's my little fancy dandy Fisker circle cutter. Now, if I wanted to cut a circle, I could manually take a pencil, I can try to draw the circle and I can cut around it. Invest in a decent circle cutter and it'll save you hours and hours and hours of work. Just put it down on a nice cutting mat, press this down, and I can make up to a 20-inch circle with this. By going out 10 inches, I can actually go around, press this in the center, and cut around, and make a 20-inch circle. So all of that's capable. This is a great tool. It's about $14, but you can use a 20% off coupon at Michael's, and you can get that even cheaper. I think I paid $12 for this one. This one's broken because somebody stepped on it, and so it's kind of leaning that way. Normally, this was supposed to be straight, but I'm afraid to straighten it because it'll break. But it still works, and so I can press down and make my circles. If you're cutting PVC, like you can see, a lot of my props are all made with PVC. Get a good PVC cutter, and you just turn it and then roll it around. You can use these for copper, but you can use them for PVC. But a good quality tool that's going to last, and some of these actually come with replacement blades there in the handle. So if their blade starts getting dull, you can just switch it out. But get a good quality tool. Good quality tools make your job a whole lot better. Don't buy something like this at the Dollar Tree, because you're only going to use it once and it'll be broken and never used again. So, all right, so let me move on a little bit faster. Decorating Made Easy, great book and resource. Even though you might be not be making the decorations exactly like they are in the book, I recommend you get the book anyway. It gives you some tips and ideas, and it also gives you all the clip art that you need in order to make your own custom decorations however you want to do them. So let's go ahead and look at all the different areas. This is my worship rally at the Imaginarium. Don't try to Google Imaginarium. The word doesn't exist. Lifeway invented it. It's a word that basically just is whatever you imagine it to be. And so you can make it look however you want it to look. You won't be able to see any two Imaginariums to look exactly alike. So here is my sample, and I wanted to use tablecloths, and so I bought some PVC at the local Habitat for Humanity Restore. All the PVC that you see that I use, and I actually have some more PVC that I didn't pull out that makes for like a light box that I used at Sunfest a couple of years ago. When we had the 80s theme, I made it Tetris pieces with a giant light box. And so this is my, the lighting that I had behind it was from Habitat Restore as well. So this is a pergo, there we go. This was a pergo flooring, and then I added a vanity light that they gave me for free, and then I just added some light bulbs on it. I used LED so they don't heat up and melt my tablecloth. And then I just wrapped the PVC sort of cube thingy out of with tablecloth, and just for $3. Basically, the cost of the tablecloth was the most expensive part. So for $3, I make a giant, almost 6-foot light thing, and all this little electrical stuff. This is really simple. It's just like wiring it all together, so you just plug it in, and it works. And it's a great little thing to do to add a visual effect. I can include on our YouTube page how you can make those things, and I'll show you how to make it. All the instructions will be there. So that's that. I use Tulle, fabric Tulle. I really like this stuff. It's really cheap. I get them not from the fabric store, but I actually buy them from Savers. And so here is a roll that would normally cost $8 at the Joann's Fabrics. I paid $4.99, but I didn't pay $4.99 because I had a 20% off coupon because I had previous year's Vacation Bible School decorations I wasn't going to use that I donated to Savers, and Savers gave me a 20% off coupon. So all in all, I only paid $2.97 for this roll of Tulle. And this is orange, and you can get it in orange and purple, and as you see, I have up there blue. But it's a great way to add light and visual and motion to it, and you can probably even put a box fan up behind it to make everything to kind of move a little bit and to kind of create some life in there. Another thing that I didn't do, because I don't have access to your ceiling, but I can hang a 50-cent hula hoop up from your ceiling and then run streamers all the way across the room in here, make it almost look like a circus tent in here. And that will create this whole visual effect. So just get this 50-cent hula hoop, and then all these multiple colored, you can match it to whatever tablecloths you're using for your backdrop, and you can get all these little streamers, and you can just run your streamers all the way up into your false ceiling and just kind of just drape them all the way around the room. And you can put as many as you want. I'm only using 5 of them here, but you can do up to 15 to 20 of them all around here and just kind of hang it up there. That will just create this big, beautiful visual effect that will draw their eyes upward. That's one way that you can decorate your Imaginarium. So again, use what's available and what's cheap and what's free, and I just recommend that, and have a lot of fun with it. Just use your creativity and just think through. You don't have to make it look exactly like mine, but that's just one option. PVC, the most expensive part in all of this is usually your connectors that brings two pieces together. All of my pieces run about 36 to 38 inches long. The reason is not some science or not any specific reason why I use that size. The main thing is I have a duffel bag that's 42 inches long, and everything has to fit in the 42-inch duffel bag, so that's why my pieces are 36. So that's how I do it, so they can all fit in the same duffel bag, and I don't have to have this weird large pieces that I have to maneuver around. So all of them, and I just use connectors to make them as big or as small as I want them to go. So, all right, any questions about Imaginarium? Okay, let's move on to the next one, which is Bible studies at Bible Study Studio. And so what you can see here, I love using what Lifeway has already produced. If you don't have a room with a window, go ahead and use this room, and you can use the backdrop, which gives you this beautiful sky that would be very inspirational for the artist in them. But you can make that whole 3D thing come out into 3D by buying this visual that's back there, and then bring it out with something like, here's my same 36-inch PVCs that I put together and made an easel out of it. This is basically 6 pieces of PVC
put together with paracord, and I have a little piece of cardboard right here that came off of a washing machine that my neighbor bought. And so this is the side pieces that go around to protect the washing machine when it's in shipping. I just took it and I added some screws to it and made it my easel. So you can make an easel and it will cost you $0. I used gaffing tape to make it look black. I love gaffing tape. You can get it, it's really expensive if you buy it at full price, but sometimes you can find this stuff on sale. I only paid 90 cents for this. Normally it's a $35 roll. So it can be expensive, but you can sometimes find it at a good deal. Now you might be thinking, why did I pay for canvases? Couldn't I make canvases myself? Yeah, I could probably do that. But when you're rummaging through the dumpster behind Michael's, you can get free canvases because this was a 3-pack and the top one had a hole in it. So I got all 3 of them and I'm only using 2 of them. The one that has the hole in it ended up going to my son and he painted a picture for his girlfriend and he used gaffing tape to patch up the hole, and then he ended up covering it full of paint so you couldn't see the hole anyway. And so anyway, he made his own little painting with her, so even the one that got messed up didn't matter. So be willing to dive in a dumpster. That's what I did to get that. So that whole setup didn't cost me anything. It was all free. Also, the paint supplies, these are just random paint supplies. You can buy paint. Here's another one of the canvases that came together, and you can make it yourself if you want to. You can buy the frame pieces and then put them together, whatever shape or size you want. And here's an example of one. You can just use a staple gun in the back to kind of hold it in place. And then you would take, this is my Harbor Freight drop cloth. And so I paid $5.50 for this drop cloth, and then I took the paints that I'm using for my prop and just sprinkled around on them. And then I folded it in half, and so that transferred that dot to the other side of the drop cloth. Then I opened it up and folded it again, and you fold it again and again and again. Then you fold it into this giant square and stomp on it really hard, and that transfers all that paint all over it, and you just, in like 15 minutes, after this stuff dries, you have this wonderful little drop cloth that has all the little holes and stuff, and it looks perfect for my little Bible study studio. So really, it's a simple, easy, not all that hard, and you can create a really nice, cool visual to make that happen. I was going to be doing a lot of traveling for my trainings and going all over the place, and so I wanted to have my crayons, so I made these crayons like this, and so I used the Crayola curve. I kind of cut my a wavy shape to the 2 pieces of 2-inch black, not cardstock, but scrapbook paper. And then I also cut a little circle out of the middle of the scrapbook paper and punched out some letters using a letter punch. But you can actually cut, if you don't want to write the word spark, you can actually just have it one giant blank one, and then you write the word spark with a paint pen, however you want to do it. But I just happened to make it this way, and I needed to make the tip of the crayon, so I just took a yellow tablecloth. This is a section that it was a smaller portion of a larger piece that I'd already cut it out. So here is a part of that tablecloth that's popping up that looks like the crayon. And then I made them all nest into one another. So like the yellow one fits inside the green one, which fits inside the blue one, which fits inside the purple one. And so all of them are just slightly smaller than the other, and so they all fit into one another. And I stuck 2 of them on the legs of the easel so they stand up by themselves. And then the other 2 just sort of wobble their own way home. You can also make a Crayola marker just by using a foam pool noodle. So, all right. Any questions about Bible Study Studio? All right, musical at soundstage. I like this one. This one was a lot of fun because I wanted to make my instruments. So I just have some foam board and just stuck this clip art off of the clip art out of the Clip Art Made Easy, Decorating Made Easy book. I took that clip art, I blew it up to 11 by 17 and attached it to a piece of foam board to make my musical instruments, and that worked out really well. But I also wanted to make a piano. And so I found some mini blinds, vertical blinds, that I put them together, and then I added some paint sticks. And so there's my piano made with vertical blinds and paint sticks and electrical tape. So that's the whole thing. And I could have done all 88 keys if I wanted to, but I can create my own little piano. And this cost me a total of 38 cents for the whole pack of vertical blinds. And then I got the paint sticks for free at Home Depot and Lowe's. The electrical tape my son had, it had fallen out of the back of a truck, and my son's just as cheap as I am. So he pulled over and pulled out the tape and put it in his car. And so he gave me his electrical tape. So I have electrical tape that some electrician no longer has anymore. But I have it now. And so there you go. That is a free piano, or a 55-cent piano. So there you go. Some of the other things you'll find on the stage, I've got over here a black garbage bag that I cut in half. and made sort of the shape of a fan shape and then cut it out in a curve to make the semicircle. That is a record. So it's basically like the floor is a record in your sound stage for the music studio over here. You're also going to notice I'm holding my microphone because I do have a microphone that's broken. It had fallen a couple of times and I can't repair it, so there is a microphone you can use, a real one, but then again, the church will get upset if you damage and hurt that. So you can turn a shower head into a microphone. So this is a shower head. It's a Moan shower head. And then you also have this black part is a part of a drain. It was somebody replaced a bathroom sink, and so the drain was left over. So I just took the black part of the drain, and this is washi tape, just red washi tape that added the strips. I had some section of the microphone cable that I just stuck at the bin. This is the nipple from a swamp cooler. So this is the bottom of the swamp cooler where the water plugs into the drain valve on your swamp. So the whole thing cost me $0. Everything was just free stuff I had around that made it look like a microphone. And I think it's pretty cool looking, so I think it works really great. I probably need to do something to kind of create the rest of the dome shape. Maybe I could figure something out to do that, maybe top off the rest of it, maybe with another shower head on top of it. So anyway, but that's kind of fun for the studio to kind of create your little musical thing. This was left over, the umbrella was left over from the Colossal Coastal World when I made the fountain on the entrance of Colossal Coastal World where I had the streamers coming down from it. That was the umbrella I was using for that. I just painted the inside of it white and flashed a cheap little light in there to kind of give me that effect of like a photo light that you would find sometimes in a studio. This is a Dollar Tree turkey platter. So if you go to Dollar Tree and go to their plastic turkey platter, and they literally call it a turkey tray platter, plateau de dîner, if you want to speak French. But it's $1, and it's made of just plastic. I drilled holes in it, and I added Christmas lights that I got at 90% off after Christmas sale at Michael's. No, not Michael's, Hobby Lobby. So I bought battery-powered Christmas lights and added it to there, and so it makes this great little vanity mirror. The total price was $1.87 for the whole mirror. And it's a great little prop. You can just stack up some chairs. And then if you had the visual kit that you purchased, you also have all these little cutouts that the people can stand in front of the mirror and look at themselves with the cutouts of a welding coat, a beret. So whatever you would have, I would recommend maybe even getting a coat rack to put next to this and put a feather boa or a fedora and all these other dress-up things that you would do as if you were going on stage at a play. And you would just create this little, whatever props you can find, an overcoat, a lab coat. So if you're going up on stage as a doctor, maybe you can put a doctor coat from a previous year's Vacation Bible School, maybe a construction hat. However you want to do it, just make your own little backstage prop area. And so that would work really well for the music sound studio. Any questions about studio? All right, let's move on. Backyard Kids Club options. There are lots of great options for Backyard Kids Club. What I want to ask is, of all the props that you see and all the decorations, which ones do you think would work really, really well in an outdoor backyard setting? All of them? Okay, yeah. If you were able to brace it down from the wind and keep it from getting knocked over, maybe all of them. You could maybe use the posters, but you notice I just attached it to the crayons, so you don't have to have a wall. I created a wall by just attaching it to the crayon. So you can do that, hanging it from a tree, you can do that. The kit actually comes with the flags, so you can open up the kit and you have these flags. And these flags I think would be a wonderful thing to hang between trees or maybe hang it from the porch to kind of just add some decoration and visual effect. But I can see using these flags and have it draped along with the tool. And so you have the tool and then the flags together, and all of it will be waving in the wind, so it'll just be this great, really neat effect. So, all right. Any questions about the decorating on a budget? All right, I would encourage you, if you can, just be creative, come up with different ideas. If you see anything up here, if you want to take a picture of it, you're welcome to. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. If you want to contact any of our other trainers, email me and I will put you in touch with them. I want to thank you for coming today. I want to thank you for participating in our Vacation Bible School Clinic. Did you all learn something today? Yeah. Did you have fun? Yeah. Then I believe today was a great success.